Today's topic is scientific notation. The first thing I want to do is talk about tens of certain powers because that is part of scientific notation. So we'll go ahead and just talk about what is 10 to the second power. Well, that's 100. 10 to the 8th power is a 1 with 8 zeros. 10 to the 10th would be a 1 with 10 zeros. 10 to the negative 4th. Now remember, that is when something's not happy. We talked about this in last section, and it makes the number go to the bottom of the fraction. So what we really have is we have 1 over 10,000. But really what we're going to do is we're going to create this as a decimal. And so we're going to move our decimal X number of places to the left. So 1 over 10,000 is the decimal. Let's see, this is the tenths, hundredths, thousandth, 10,000th spot. So this would be the decimal for 1 over 10,000. And then the same thing for this 10 to the negative 8. So this is the decimal that would incorporate 1 over 100 million. Moving on, we have scientific notation. The explanation for scientific notation is that it's used to write very large or very small numbers. It condenses it. So instead of writing this huge number here, we can just simply say it's 1 times 10 to the 15th. Now normally we don't see that kind of sign in there, we'll just see the X. So 1 times 10 to the 15th. Or this really small number here, we would just simply state it as 5 times 10 to the negative 11th. Scientific notation is written in this form, so it's got a number times 10 to some power. Very important that you know that A, okay, because I said it was going to be written in A times 10 to the nth power. This A has to fall between 1 and 10. It cannot be anything, it's got to be 1 or anything smaller than 10, so it cannot be 10. There will not be. So let's look at numbers here and let's decide whether or not these are written in scientific notation. So we're going to check out this first number. We're going to say, does it fall between 1 and 9 or 1 and 10? And it does. And it does have something written to times 10 to the power. So this is a yes. The second one, does this number 52 fall between 1 and 10? No. So this is not scientific notation. And this last one, does this number fall between 1 and 10? And the answer is no, so it is not scientific notation either. So to write a number in scientific notation, one of the things we're going to do is use a positive exponent to write a number that's greater than 10. So we'll use a positive exponent to write a number that's greater than 10. And we'll use a negative exponent to write a number that's between 0 and 1, or those decimals. So let's practice writing some things in scientific notation. The first thing I want you guys to do is, when you look at the number, I want you to decide where you would place the decimal so that the number would fall between 1 and 10. If I look here, I would have to put the decimal right here. That way I'd have a 2 out here in front, and it would fall between 1 and 10. So that means I'm going to start out by writing 2.67 times 10 to some power. I'm going to put this as a box here because I want you guys to think logically about this and not just memorize some way of coming up with your answer. I'm going to first figure out what the number is. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We've moved our decimal place 5 times because there was a decimal right here, even though you can't see it. So I know this is 5, but is it 5 to the is it a positive 5 or a negative 5? Well, because this is a really large number, we would say it's a positive number, a positive exponent, because we want to make this 2 as large as it once was. So in order to do that, we'd have to multiply by a big number, and so we'd have a positive exponent written there.